Nolan's in here at Acme Oyster House in the French Quarter. Good stuff in here, yeah. Welcome to Noligent. Let the good times roll.
In this episode of our French Quarter New Orleans Restaurant Review vlog, we're on our way to Acme Oyster House. Here we are walking down Bourbon Street, right past Dickie Brennan's Bourbon House. So feast with me on some great New Orleans seafood gumbo, fried shrimp, fried oysters, and raw oysters in the New Orleans French Quarter at Acme Oyster House for a New Orleans Creole food restaurant review video. We just turned down onto Iberville Street, and Acme Oyster House is located in the New Orleans French Quarter at 724 Iberville Street. Acme opened up in the French Quarter back in 1910 as Acme Café and became Acme Oyster House in 1924. There are currently 6 locations of Acme Oyster House, including the Louisiana locations in the New Orleans French Quarter, Metairie and Baton Rouge, with additional locations in Gulf Shores, Alabama, Seascape, Florida, and Houston, Texas. We will also visit the Acme Oyster House in the New Orleans suburb of Metairie to compare it to the original French Quarter location. As you can see from the long lines that form in front of it, the Acme Oyster House in the French Quarter is one of the most popular restaurants with tourists, and many locals also love their New Orleans Creole food. Acme Oyster House is popular for their gumbo, fried seafood, and especially their raw oysters, and I lucked out and got here when there wasn't a line. So let's go ahead and head on inside here and check this place out. So I've been here many times in the past, but it has been quite a few years since I last was here. As a local, I don't stand in that line, but hey, I saw there was no line, so I decided to pay a visit, and it's nice to come back in here and visit every now and again and check the old place out. So it's probably been a couple of decades since I last was in here, and it pretty much looks exactly the same. It's got a great ambiance in here, and the oyster bar is always a fun spot, and of course they've got plenty of tables in here as well. The only thing you've got to worry about is how many people you have at your party to be able to fit them all at a table or getting space at the oyster bar. As we head towards the back, you see they've got another oyster shucking bar here along with a grill for the char-grilled oysters and more dining room tables here in this back area. So it's got a nice layout. It's pretty much a straight through shotgun design for the most part, as a lot of places in New Orleans are. So let's go ahead and take a seat up here in the front at the oyster bar and get busy with some great Acme Oyster House seafood. So you probably can guess some of the things I'm going to eat today, because I think I've already mentioned there's going to be oysters involved. They also have some great t-shirts because, hey, if you're a tourist, you got to get a t-shirt. So let's take a look at this menu now. So we have oysters with raw oysters, char-grilled oysters, oyster shooter, which is one freshly shucked oyster with cocktail sauce and vodka served in a shot glass. Then we have appetizers with boo fries, meat pies, craw puppies, fried crab claws, crab cake with corn mac choux, boom boom shrimp, fried alligator, fried oyster remoulade, boiled seafood, New Orleans specialties, seafood gumbo, chicken and andouille gumbo, oyster Rockefeller soup, soup of the day, butter bean plate, jambalaya, red beans and rice, the Acme pupa, which is a French bread bowl filled with your favorite soup, gumbo, or red beans and rice, seafood etouffee, New Orleans medley. Then we have po' boys, fried peacemaker po' boy, which is golden fried oysters and shrimp seasoned to perfection with Tabasco infused mayo, grilled marinated chicken po' boy, Acme 10 napkin roast beef, Acme special po' boy, oyster po' boy, half-pound hamburger, shrimp po' boy, fried fish po' boy, half-pound veggie burger. Then we have half and half po' boy with shrimp and fish, shrimp or fish with oysters. Then we have fried crawfish tail po' boy, half po' boy inside, fried softshell crab po' boy, ham po' boy, half po' boy and cup of soup and gumbo, turkey po' boy, hot sausage patty po' boy, grilled smoked sausage po' boy. Then we have platters with a fried oyster platter, fried half and half platter with shrimp and fish, shrimp or fish with oysters, fried shrimp platter, fried fish platter, fried softshell crab platter, fried seafood platter with oyster, shrimp, and fried fish, and crab cake platter. Sides are red beans and rice, hush puppies, jambalaya, coleslaw, grilled smoked sausage, potato salad, French fries, and sweet potato fries. Then on the other side of the menu, we have our drink menu with red wine, specialty drinks, white wine, blush and sparkling, New Orleans classic cocktails, and margaritas. So I decided to kick my meal off with a delicious seafood gumbo. And of course, we've got to add a little Tabasco sauce in here to kick it up a little bit because, hey, life's too short not to live it a little spicy, you know? So there's a good amount of rice in here. It's a bit more rice than I would prefer, but it does have a nice amount of shrimp in here as well. So let's check this out and get it all mixed up, and it's ready to go. And let's go ahead and take a bite here. It's steaming hot. Looks very nice in there. Plenty of shrimp, a little bit of okra, and all right, so good stuff. So they definitely have some nice flavors here. They certainly have perfected their seafood gumbo recipe over many years, and they definitely do a good one here. So it is an enjoyable gumbo, and it's certainly on a cooler day in New Orleans today. Good hot gumbo is certainly something that warms you up all over. Have a little extra Tabasco sauce kick. It gives you even more heat, so you gotta love that combination. And it's definitely really pleasant with everything, with all the components going in there, the rice and the okra and the shrimp all combined together to make for a good experience. I've totally destroyed this gumbo, so destroy the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, comment below, let me know what you think about this gumbo. While you're down there, check out the link to my Patreon account because, hey, I work for tips, I appreciate any help with that. Next up, I had to get a combo plate of fried shrimp and fried oysters because, hey, they do make some really great fried seafood here. Ooh, look at this beautiful fried shrimp. Oh yes, they have really flavorful breading here. It's got a lot of good taste. I really enjoy the way they spice things up here. Look at this giant fried oyster. This thing's a monster. Ooh. It's like this is a 2-bite oyster. Look how beautiful this is. This is a really awesome fried oyster. They definitely know how to do some fried oysters in here. Oh my goodness. These are really nice sized shrimp, really huge oysters. Everything on here has tasted really fantastic so far because Acme definitely knows how to fry some things. Now, do you know what this is called? It's a hush puppy. And it's just plain regular hush puppy, nothing special inside. So they could kick it up a little more by throwing in some jalapeno or something, but you know, it's all right. Now let's try this French fry. Looks nice and crisp on the outside, and I think it's going to be a little crunchy. And oh yes, nice and crunchy on the outside, perfectly fried and soft on the inside, just the way a French fry should be. Let's get some more of this delicious seafood. Oh yeah, another shrimp right here. Oh goodness, this is such a huge pile of fried seafood. Look at this just ginormous oyster. Goodness, these are some of the biggest fried oysters I've had in a long time. And these are definitely quite nice sized shrimp. But the oysters here definitely are the star of the show, as they're just amazingly huge. It's been quite a while since I've gotten oysters this nicely fried. And of course, the shrimp are also almost as good, but if I have to pick one, I'm definitely picking these giant fried oysters. I mean, wow, 2-bite oysters that are fried are a real treat. It's been quite too long since I've had such a good experience with my fried oysters. Okay, another nice fry. It was nice and firm, and again is crunchy on the outside, quite tasty. And of course, we've got another hush puppy here. So hush puppies are just fried cornmeal if you didn't know, so they are a nice little item to go with your fried seafood. Okay, I'm done with the starches and I'm ready for more protein. So just like I've destroyed the seafood, destroy the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, comment below, and would you kindly check out the link to my Patreon account because I do work for tips and I appreciate any assistance with that. So here's some fresh oysters, and here's some oysters getting shucked. So I think you know what time it is now. For my delicious dessert, I'm gonna get a half dozen of raw oysters. Look at here, these look beautiful. I can't wait to dig in. Oh yeah, look at this. Now, these are actually, I think, smaller than the fried oysters. These are medium-sized oysters. They're still a pretty decent size. Well, let's certainly remember, if you like your oyster salty, don't use the lemon. squirt that lemon on there. It'll cut down the saltiness flavor. I like my oysters a little more salty, so I typically don't put any lemon on it. Sometimes I might put a little Tabasco sauce, and I really love a little horseradish on them. But often I'll just eat them plain. Now these I've just left as they are because I think they're pretty darn good today. They've got a nice saltiness to them. They got a nice texture, and they're very easy to eat. And they just go right on down very easily. Some people don't chew them. I like to chew mine because I just think it's good for your digestion to chew your food. Now, Acme does have a noted contest where if you eat 15 dozen, then you get your name on the wall. And some people have done far more than that. I'm usually pretty happy with, 2-3 dozen, but just like I destroyed these oysters, destroy that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, comment below, let me know what you think about raw oysters, and while you're down there, remember to check out the link to my Patreon account, because I do work for tips, and I appreciate any help with that. So the bill arrived, and the total was $43.38, which is certainly a bit of an expensive lunch. So, next we're heading off to Metairie, to the Acme Oyster House there. This location is at 3000 Veterans Boulevard, which is about 13 minutes and 9 miles away from the New Orleans French Quarter. And it's a nice little location where there's often a crowd, but frequently you can get in without too much of a wait here. So most locals that want some Acme typically end up here because it's just easier to get in and there's free parking. Unlike the French Quarter, where it's definitely a bit more of a hassle to park, and there's almost always a line to get in there. So if you want the Acme experience, but you don't want the crowded wait outside, you certainly can often get in here a lot easier. So it's a little locals hack. So let's go ahead and head on inside here and check this place out. They definitely have a little Christmas bling bling going on in here, so it's always fun to get into the beautiful decorations of the Christmas season. So they've got a patio, little dining area there. And then when we come up here, they also have a bar area that's also a fun little spot to hang out. And then as we continue on, we can see that there's definitely a lot of open tables. So a lot of opportunities to not wait in a line in here. Now we're gonna go sit at the oyster bar here as well. You can see these char-grilled oysters being cooked up. Oh, it smells amazing. Oh my goodness. Now we're going to take a seat at the bar, and what do you think we're going to eat in here? Ooh, I am tempted by some more raw oysters. They look beautiful. And it's always a good experience to eat the food in Acme Oyster House and all the locations I've been to. So this is definitely a fun spot to get your oyster fix on. So for comparison to the French Quarter location, this location has most of the items the same price, but there are several items that are $1 or several cents cheaper here than the location in the French Quarter. And to continue our comparison, I got a fried oyster platter because the last ones were so great. Oh yeah, these oysters look really nice. Now this is definitely smaller than the oysters that I had back at Acme French Quarter. Let's try this coleslaw. All right, so, okay, it's very mayonnaise-y looking, but it's got a nice crunch to it. I'd like a little more vinegar style instead of the mayonnaise style, of course, but it's a decent coleslaw. Let's try one French fry, and it tastes exactly like the French fries at the French Quarter Acme, so great consistency with everything tasting good. So just like I destroyed this seafood, go ahead and destroy that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Comment below, let me know what you think about fried oysters. And while you're down there, check out the link to my Patreon account because I do work for tips and I appreciate any help with that. So the bill arrived and the total was $30.56 before tip, which is really expensive as not that long ago, that would be an entire seafood platter, not just oysters. But sadly, we're still in an oyster shortage that's caused a lot of inflation due to Hurricane Ida and some other factors. So, thanks so much to everybody at Acme Oyster House for some delicious food. And thanks so much to all of you out there for tuning into the NOLA channel, especially to my Patreons. And would you kindly share this video with any of your friends or contacts that would enjoy it, as that really would help me with the YouTube algorithm. And tune in next time for more good food, good times, and good people.
Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you would just click on the little circle here with a picture of my head in there and subscribe to the NOLA channel, it would really help me a lot. I really appreciate it. Thank you.